What's up, guys? Okay, back at it with another live reaction. I have this interview with Ingrid Newkirk pulled up, founder of PETA, co-founder of PETA, Dr. Faraz Harsini. Let's check it out.
Actually, it's very odd, actually, to ask anybody why they should go vegan. You know, somebody suggested you should say, why should you not be cruel to animals? Because why should you not slaughter animals because you fancy a taste? I think the shoe should be on the other foot, is how can anybody not be vegan?
Before we start, I wanted to say that there is a good news, bad news situation. The bad news is that there is really no end to human cruelty, as you could see in the video that PETA showed. And the good news is we have power to change it. And that's one reason I have Ingrid here today, because that's the power that each one of us has if we really take this seriously. The reason I started ASAP is because when I was in college, after years of advocacy, when I graduated, my animal advocacy group just faded away. And I see that happening pretty much in all universities. And before ASAP, there was almost no outreach being done in any of the colleges and universities. And also the ones that did something, they were often, you know, had different messages and they were like sporadic and unsustainable. And yet I see immense potential in universities. Most influential vegans today, they became inspired in college. And college is where we have captive audience, captive, young, open-minded audience, where we can expose people day after day for at least 4 years to vegan message. And before ASAP, really, students went through 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 3 years of law school, and never, ever had to examine the relationship with animals.
You doing all right, Kane? How's your day been going?
But together with many of you on this call, many of the ASAP students, we are changing that. And at least in 20 universities, it's nearly impossible to walk around campus and not learn something about veganism. And we do that with 3 pillars. Our first pillar is outreach. It is virtually impossible to have lectures for 50,000 students. So that's why we have to do events that are eye-catching, like dog meat event or human milk or things like that, to spark conversations. And the second pillar is education and empowerment, both to create new vegans and also inspire vegans and have lectures about benefits of plant-based diet, careers, all of that. And our third pillar is working with dining halls to actually become more plant-based. Now, I became active originally because of PETA. I was a PETA campus rep.
How you doing, Felix? You had a good day today? Yeah, I mean, PETA has inspired so many people, of course. It would be interesting to know, like, how many people have been turned on to veganism from, like, a PETA flyer, or, you know, one of the things that I really like. PETA is great for so many things, but one thing that they're really, really helpful for is materials, signs. They're really helpful to activists. If you ever need signs for a protest or something, you can go to PETA.org. I think it's /literature or something. You can just request materials and someone will help you with that.
About 2 years. Usually
for free.
And throughout that time,
nice.
PETA didn't really change my life in terms of animal rights. It also changed my life in terms of, it changed.
Vacation day today, trip to the vet this morning, bike ride and library visit this afternoon. Just returned home, so my timing is excellent. Nice, good, good, good. Yep, 2 days in a row, Alicia. 2 days in a row that you visited my stream too. You're on the roll. Let's see if we can do it. Well, I can't stream tomorrow. Won't be here tomorrow. So I'm kind of squeezing in some streams. I'm going to have some stuff that I've got to do over the next few days.
Changed my life, how I actually view my work and my life as a whole. And similarly, ASAP is way more than just doing outreach in colleges. It's a life experience. It's really about helping students, even vegans, to take veganism seriously, to to treat it as a moral urgency. It's really to set a culture where we work hard and work tirelessly towards our mission. It's about immersing ourselves in our work, and we have a lot of work to do. It's not about looking at activism and animal rights as our job. It has to be our life, and it starts from the second we wake up. Just a few days ago, I emailed Ingrid at 5:30 a.m. and she responded at 6 a.m.
Yes. One time when Wayne and I were together, I forget why, I think we wanted to schedule an interview or something with Ingrid, and Wayne had said something like, she's always real responsive. And I think he sent her an email and got an email response back like within like 3 minutes.
I don't know how many hundreds of emails she gets a day, and PETA has a 0 email policy, so there is no excuse.
And I've got these, Alicia, vegan Rob's cauliflower puff. Definitely a health food.
It's for someone like me to say I'm too busy to do something. It's really about never saying that I don't have time for animal rights, because it's about making time for something that is important. That if you have to focus on your math exam and finals and homework, you do that because you know that doing that makes you closer to where you can fight for animals even harder. And as we speak, 50,000 animals are dying every second, including fish, right? So 50,000. It's by far the greatest injustice of all time and the biggest moral issue of our time.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a better person who has changed the course of animal rights more than Ingrid Newkirk. And that's why I wanted her to come here and talk to us and tell us how she did that. So with that, welcome, Ingrid.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good.
We are so glad that you're here. And I know that every second of your life is extremely valuable. So without much intro, let's just...
Ingrid Newkirk's book, Free the Animals, is a really good read. If y'all haven't read that, it's about how the ALF came to America. It's a sort of an insider account of an anonymous woman who went by Valerie, who was actually a police officer, saw how monkeys were being treated in Silver Spring, Maryland. I believe that's the timeline. And saw that they weren't going to get the help that they needed from the authorities, and got inspired by the ALF and Ronnie Lee in the UK, went over to the UK, learned the ropes, and brought the ALF to America. Free the Animals by Ingrid Newkirk.
Just jump into it. Majority of people on this call are already vegan, but I'm so glad that some non-vegans gave it an open mind and joined us. So the first thing, to just get started, I want to hear it from Ingrid Newkirk. Why should we go vegan, and why should we go vegan today?
It's very odd, actually, to ask anybody why they should go vegan. Somebody suggested you should say, why should you not be cruel to animals? Because why should you not slaughter animals because you fancy a taste? I think the shoe should be on the other foot, is how can anybody not be vegan? How can you think of, know about, see an animal, and we are animals too, of course, so forgive me for using that term, but see a member of some other species and think, oh, you'd make a good sandwich. It's just so bizarre that, of course, we grow up with all sorts of bizarre ideas, and society actually has all these behaviors that, if you examine them, don't make any sense, aren't ethical, are inconsiderate at the very least, and actually make us into cannibals. We're killing members of our own animal kingdom just for a sandwich. It's just very bizarre. So I think the alternate question is, why would you possibly eat animals? Why would you possibly drink milk? Why would you possibly have your shoes made of someone else's skin?
Yeah.
Haven't you learned anything?
Why not eat vegan Rob sorghum cauliflower puffs? They go vegan right at the top. These are pretty damn good. I haven't eaten them in a while. They've got a bunch of flavors. I'm just going to plug vegan Rob's. Free advertising.
And I think somebody, who was it? Was it one of the musicians was asked, or moaned to, it's so difficult to find non-leather shoes. And he said, yeah, think how difficult it is for the cow if you don't bother to look.
I found that to be one of the most impactful questions. I just ask students, yes, sometimes it's harder to be vegan, but is it harder for you or for the animal? It's all about the perspective. And I also love, we always say veganism is not a diet, it's a ethical principle that we don't exploit animals. And
if y'all were here yesterday, when we were watching Tasha's video and we were talking about disruptive activism and how it sort of goes against some of our nature of, not wanting to rock the boat or not wanting to, lose our anonymity or speak too much or be too loud. Some of those things don't come naturally for me, but again, when you think about the animals, it's not difficult at all to raise your voice or do a protest. Not hard at all in comparison to what the animals are going through.
I love how PETA embodies that value because you really just address it in all places, animal experimentation, fur, leather, everywhere, animals exploited for entertainment, everything. Now, I think that we definitely need to create more vegans, but also we need to inspire vegans to get active. And that's a huge part of what we're trying to do at ASAP, similar to SOS and PETA too. And getting active, in my opinion, is like whatever you can do, use your careers, donations, speaking up, whatever. A big challenge for a lot of our students is that it's really getting other vegans in their club to actually do something. It's like to help them get active, to show up, to take veganism seriously, and to understand that it's a moral urgency and we need to speak up. How do you inspire and motivate other vegans to speak up and get involved?
Well, I'm at the point where I'm grateful for anybody doing anything, because there are so many people doing nothing that if somebody does one thing, I think, thank God you did one thing. But yes, I worry too about people going, well, I'm so overwhelmed, because you can't be overwhelmed. Imagine if Florence Nightingale or Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela suddenly said, gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. This is stressful. Of course it's stressful, but we're big boys and girls and we can take stress. So I think we have to find and tell other vegans, if you feel worried that you're going to be overwhelmed or stressed or whatever, there are coping mechanisms that you can adopt, because we would go insane if we thought all day long about what is happening to our fellow individuals out there in the slaughterhouses, on the trucks, in the fur farms, all these places, particularly in laboratories, where even someone turning the handle on.
That's right. That's why sometimes you just got to play some cyberpunk. You have to. What's up, the real thing? Nice to see you.
The door sends their blood pressure soaring, their hearts beating fast. They know something ugly is going to happen to them. So I think you have to have coping mechanisms and tell people it's going to be all right. It's also, I think, all right to do other things sometimes, to read a book that has nothing to do with animal rights, a magazine that has nothing to do with animal rights, to go somewhere, because that stimulates thought. You can justify it by saying, well, I got a new idea when I was walking out in the forest or somewhere, or climbing a mountain, or reading National Geographic, or reading a comic book. I got a new idea of how that might.
It's not only like justified in something that you can do, it's something I think you should do, just to keep yourself kind of I don't know what word I might use, but just like as a more well-rounded person. There are times when I have gotten so into the animal rights space and world where that's all I've been, all I was. Uh, and I think you may start to lose a bit of who you are as a person if you don't have some other interests and things to do. Um, we talk a lot about burnout too. I don't want to make people sound like we're talking a little bit about like making it sound like people are wimpy. We're not, but I found myself slip into that mode. And I usually am pretty good about being able to pull myself out of this mode or that mode. Maybe that's come with age, experience. But I don't know. I do see some people have struggled with being able to shift from one thing to the next. I don't know.
Might translate into something useful. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But coping mechanisms keep us going. And I do believe that if we think carefully, people are worried about what's happening in Palestine, what's happening with LGBT, all these other issues are important. But as important as they are, if you really think about the fear, the slaughter, the suffering that goes on day after night after day after night, it is, as you just said, the biggest horror that humans have visited on anyone ever. So we have to do something about it. And there are, as you said, a million different ways to get active.
I think it's really important to have that clarity of mind, because it is really hard when you open Instagram or go to social media. Like, it's just, you're bombarded with different problems in the world, and many of them you can't really do anything about. But it is hard to be bombarded with all this information and yet have the clarity of mind to say, you know what, I need to focus on this, because in my opinion, at least, this is one of the most neglected forms of oppression that ever existed.
It's also the one that you can do something about. Like, not to say you can't do something about other issues, but this is the one that I felt really empowered when I realized, oh, this is something that I directly contribute to, directly pay for, that I can directly boycott, that I can directly get active about. There's just, to me, it was empowering. A lot of people feel like the problems are so big that you start to feel powerless. I have felt that from time to time. But overwhelmingly, my feeling with veganism and activism is pretty empowered. Because before animal rights and all this stuff, like, things I were thinking about were things like pollution, climate change, things like that, that yes, you can have some direct impact on, but it's not nearly as tangible. It's not nearly as direct as you pay someone some money and now you have someone's body part right in front of you. And we're just talking about veganism now, and that's before even doing anything active. So for me, animal rights activism gave my life a lot of purpose that was lacking before.
It is because that some people get embarrassed, is that this is their cause. Everybody else is working on something else that's also important.
Whoa, we've got a bird in the chat. This might be the first time that we've had a bird in the chat. Welcome, Walking with Birds. Walking with Birds is a bird from Germany. And if you're not looking at the chat, this bird thanks you for not eating their brothers. An iguanodon picture. Yes, you smart little hairless ape wearing clothing Jedi thing. Bird and Jedi. An iguanodon picture.
but they're embarrassed that they're not working on that. And they try to make excuses about it or try. There's nothing embarrassing about fighting for an individual who can't fight for themselves, has no power whatsoever, is discriminated against, who is denigrated, who is taken apart limb from limb, who isn't even given anesthesia when they're killed. I mean, there is
Also, I forget who told me that. I feel like they said it to me in an interview or so. I don't remember who said it, but it was an interesting way of looking at it too. That I think it was Danish who was saying that if you're vegan and you're not surrounded by other vegans, that's not, you shouldn't feel weak in that moment. You should actually feel very powerful, because as the lone vegan, right? And you can extrapolate that to bigger scenarios, like maybe you feel like you're the only vegan in your town, or the only vegan in your state, or you just feel like, God, no one's vegan. Well, that means that you actually have a ton of power. Whereas if there were vegans all over the place, you may not have as much of the impact as you thought. That's just another shift in perspective. That's another way of thinking about it.
There's no shame in fighting for them, and we must be bold, and I think we must be forthright and honest and factual and not shy away. I had a job applicant the other.
So the bird today ate a pig because mammals suck your beak. Hashtag mammals suck. Hashtag dinosaurs are way cool. This is not a nice bird in our chat. Not a nice bird.
Other day, and I asked him, what do you think about our philosophy and, your vegan life? He was vegan. And he said, well, I really don't like people to define me as vegan, so I really never mention it. And if someone brings it up, then I'll answer what. And I thought, this is the most cowardly, ineffective, useless thing. Here you have such an opportunity. Being vegan, he's obviously learned about anything that anyone else might care about, somebody's arteries or their heart or their sexual drive or the environmental impact of it or cruelty to animals. And yet he's afraid to say anything because someone might challenge him. And I thought, don't you know the answer if someone challenges you? It's all very simple. It's a moral premise, is that I don't believe in harming others. I don't believe in killing needlessly. And I don't want my life to be defined by doing those horrible things. And it is environmentally conscious. It is health conscious. It is all those wonderful things. So he didn't get the job.
Also, when you just start out, what I was doing and what I encourage other people to do is just become like a sponge and start learning. Watch all the docs, read all the books. I'm still reading all the books, I'm still going through the books and trying to get educated to be even more empowered when you're challenged, that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But she makes a good point. It is that simple. I just don't believe in harming others. Pretty simple. And you can always come back to that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that it should be really an honor to work for animals. And we talk about this a lot at GFI too. So like, if you say you work on food system transformation or animal rights, it's not classy, it's not fancy. But if you say, I used to be a cancer researcher, the second you say that you do cancer research, everyone is like, wow, thank you for your service. You're saving the world. But it's like, but here are so many more animals who are dying. And when you work on that, then suddenly not only you don't get approval from society, but also you face criticism, which actually brings me to my next question. So you face constant criticism, and not just from meat industry and animal industry that literally have PR campaigns to hurt you, but also from within.
A lot of times lately when I've talked about what I do, I get kind of like a response that's like, they're like, specific answers that are trying to not cause more conversation, I feel like, with some people, because I feel like when they hear animal rights activist or something, they can tell where the conversation might lead if they continue down that path.
In the movement, which I think it just sort of hurts even more. And I know that PETA recently criticized Humane Society and our ASPCA for human.
All right, Bird. Well, your kind was killed by the big meteor. That's no reason to take it out on the pig, right? No reason to take it out on the pig. The pig didn't do it.
Washing and welfareism, and there was an article from PETA that encouraged them not to promote factory farming and welfareism, and I quote, it said, tell consumers the truth, eating animals is never humane. And I just love that. So I think PETA always values truth over politics. And I can see many other people in your place, they would have thought about their relationships with these other CEOs in these nonprofits and the politics of it all. Or on a personal level, when you speak up and you're in this romantic relationship or friendship or with your family, it's always like, should I speak up? What happens to my relationships? But PETA just doesn't care. Like you and PETA, you just care about the truth, as isolating as it can be, and doesn't matter how much pushback you get. And something relevant to something what we do, the dog meet, the Elwood's dog meet event is one of our most powerful events that it just gets everyone. It's like very thought-provoking, right? Or human breast milk. But we know that people who stop by and have a good conversation with us, they live with a positive impression. But of course, there's like a lot of backlash and criticism on the side. And as you just mentioned, people are told that if they speak up, they're militant or angry, they are extreme. And so I think that really discourages a lot of vegans to speak up. So I know that when I'm in a tough situation where I have to encourage myself to speak up, like, what would Jesus do? For me, it's like, what would Ingrid do? And that gives me power. It's like, what would Ingrid do in this situation? It was like, she wouldn't care about the politics and relationship. She would just say
what would Ingrid do?
To be said. So how do you deal with constant pressure and criticism, and especially from within the movement, and still have the courage to do what's right and tell the truth, even though it can be very isolating?
I don't think it's a problem for me anymore. It's water off a duck's back if somebody criticizes me, because I realize that I've struck a nerve. If someone is interested in attacking you, they are the ones getting angry. I don't get angry usually. And now if someone is beating a dog in front of me, I get angry. And when I'm in India, if someone's beating a cow or an elephant in front of me, I get angry. But making an argument, there's no need to fight. You have all the facts. And I find it useful sometimes to say, surely whatever they're saying, well, I'll always wear my fur, or, well, I'm a steak eating person. And I would say, but surely, you don't really support cruelty to animals generally, do you? And most people go, no, of course I don't, and then you say, well, let me just explain why. To me, I wouldn't do that because, and if you're nice about it, if you're polite about it, I think when they play the tapes back at home at night of that conversation, they're going to realize they were the jerks if they were. And you just were nice and you just said, I know something and I'm going to share it with you. I do think that I don't like fighting generally because I think it shows that you may be a little insecure in your position. If you know your facts, there is no need to fight. Usually, there's always an exception.
But what if you really don't like that person, Ingrid? Come on, Ingrid. Do we have to be nice all the time?
But I really do have good conversations and I seize every opportunity. You might not even think there's an opportunity there. But if I'm at the grocery store, I tell fibs, I'll have some tofu or something with me, and I'll always say to the cashier, I just tried this. This is fantastic. Or to the person next to me, oh, you've got those free-range eggs? I just saw something about that. It's a scam. And here's what. And so I'm in the elevator and I'll say, hi, just asking you, perfect stranger, do you like my shoes? Because I just bought them, and they're a pair of vegan shoes and they're so comfortable. Or whatever you can find to do. You may find this a bit ridiculous, but I find that everybody I encounter, almost without exception, leaves that encounter that they never knew they were going to have with some idea in mind. Oh, you're buying the vegan milk, the oat milk at the coffee shop. I always say something and try to make it sound ordinary and conversational, but really, I'm teaching, and that's what we can all do.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I should say one thing, this is not just to complacent strangers. I was walking down the path near our office, and there's a river, and there was a woman fishing, and she had these 3-pronged hooks that she was using. And I stopped and I said, oh, hi, I see you're using those hooks. I said, I used to fish, I don't fish anymore. But I just had this thing taken off my lip. It's a little precancerous thing. And I said, boy, did that hurt. And it made me think of those hooks. I said, have you ever tried the Guardian fish fingers that aren't made of fish? And she was just baffled. But she said, no, I like fish. And I said, yeah, I like fish too, but I prefer them swimming because they're really interesting individuals. I went to the grocery store, which was about half a mile. She was still fishing when I came back. She put the Guardian fish fillets in her ice chest. And she said, thanks a lot. I'll try them. I mean, anything.
That's pretty cool. She's going through her day all the time, just looking for opportunities to make points. I would like to say that I do that, but I am not that on it. I'm just going through my day. But maybe I should do more.
100% agreed. Some story I tell people is Peter Singer became vegetarian or vegan in Oxford because a fellow student refused to eat meat. And this is, I don't know, in 60s.
Well, it's a bit of a British thing. The dark side of the force swells within me. Yeah, I also go towards the dark side, Jedi. Yeah.
Or so. And so if that conversation didn't happen, if that guy was on a meatless Monday diet and it was a Tuesday and whatever, if that conversation didn't happen, who knew? Like there would be no Peter Singer, no animal liberation. And I know that Peter Singer and animal liberation actually influenced you to become active as well. Actually, another question I had for you before we go to Q&A. You are a Homo sapien, like a human, just like many of us on this call. And you have, just like us, 24 hours a day. And I want students to know that if they believe in themselves, they can just accomplish just as much if they give it their best. And your work ethics is just crazy exceptional, but it shouldn't be. It should really be the norm. And that's sort of the culture I want to cultivate within ASAP and the vegan movement. So what was the key factor in your success? How did you manage to create the biggest animal rights organization in the world, starting in 1980s, as a woman back then when like veganism or animal rights were barely known? How did you do that? What was the reason behind what led to your success?
Reading Peter Singer's book, his original book, had me think, good Lord, I don't just believe in kindness to animals, meaning a longer chain, or taking them out for a walk, regularly. I realize what he's saying is true, is that they're just like us. They have a heart, they have eyes, they have a brain, they have feelings, they have fear, they have pain, they have loneliness. It all came together for me in reading the original Animal Liberation. And once I read that, I thought, that's what I've always believed in my heart, but I've never heard anybody say it. I've never read those words. And at the time, I was getting an award for cleaning up the DC dog pound, as it was called then. And I had to go and give a speech. And I took the podium. Nobody knew about animal rights. Everybody was eating a meat meal. And I took the podium and I gave them a lecture on animal rights. And they probably thought, oh God, what is this? But that was my first thing. And my second thing was taking the runway at a fur show. Anybody can talk to people. Anybody can burst into somewhere that's doing something wrong. Anybody can do civil disobedience, but anybody can give a vegan meal to somebody and say, hey, try this. People will always take free food. And they may never try it themselves unless you foist it off on them. Anybody can do so many things throughout the day, just leave a trail of animal rights literature. I get a lot of mail from people who say, I was in the grocery store and I came across this pamphlet. I saw your thing on the bulletin board. I went on social media and I saw somebody talking. Everything is an opportunity. And all I did was seize opportunities because I was so upset at what I had learned is happening to animals. And I felt I can't just live a life and die. I can't just, amuse myself. I've got to do something, even if it's a little tiddly thing that affects 1 or 2 or 20 animals. I'm going to do something. If I can convert one person to know what I know. And so the more I did, it's like, if you build it, they'll come. And so all these other people.
I think about this a lot. I really wish there was some way, some magical way that we could have like a little counter and know how many people we've impacted, how many vegans were created. I wish we had that ability. It'd be so nice, because I'm always thinking about that. I'm always thinking about the numbers, trying to scale everything, and get animal liberation quick. But I also take those small wins, just like when someone, is eating vegan for the first time. I've gone on like dates where I'd be like, yeah, I'll treat you a cup of coffee, but just so you know, I can't buy animal products. So would it be okay if I get you oat milk or something in the thing? There was when I was playing piano, there was a couple years where I played piano for a living on the streets, actually, which was pretty nice, pretty fun. And where I lived, there are a lot of houseless people as part of the whole ecosystem. And one of them was a pretty decent friend of mine. He was kind of this extraordinary guy. He wrote music. So I was out there playing piano, and sometimes he would give me the music that he wrote. He like composed music without instruments. So anyway, he was a cool guy. And I remember doing that with him one time where I was like, yeah, hey, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Is it okay if I get you the oat milk? That kind of thing. Those are just like little things. But I feel good about them when those things happen. Even if the impact is very small, it's still a very small impact.
People kept saying, oh, what can I do? And it grew. Oh, you work at this place? You can do that. Oh, you're a teacher? You can do that. Oh, you're in college? You can put up this display. You can give a talk. It was wonderful. But everyone started to come and say, can I help? And nobody would have said that if I hadn't spoken up.
So religion.
I am so happy that I found something to do with my life that means something to me, and that is making the world, the animals world, the other species world, a little bit kinder, because that's all we can ever hope to do.
Yeah, it would just be really cool to have a way to measure the things that we're doing, like get accurate numbers and understand exactly what's working and what isn't working. And it'd be cool.
Until there's a revolution in human thought and behavior.
I know that there's attempts at things like that, but they're not foolproof, obviously.
We see what's happening in so many areas. People are callous. People are oblivious. People are uneducated. And so we need to get out there and do our best to turn them around, open their eyes, their hearts, their minds.
Yes, I can feel the passion, and I think it's one of the most fulfilling things that we can do, which keeps you, helps you go on even when everything is really hard, because it's not about immediate results for you. It's about devoting your life to something much, much bigger than yourself. So we can spend the next couple of minutes to Q&A. I just want to say that I recommend.
And also with activism or really anything you're doing, that's kind of what I'm expressing, is just kind of the frustration of not knowing, because for all you know, you might have had some conversation, or even you held up some sign, or did a cube with someone, or whatever it is, and you could have impacted that person, and the results of that impact may not show up for years. They might be thinking about it like years later. Who knows? It is a little bit frustrating because you have to learn to be okay with not knowing whether you've accomplished much or anything. So you just have to accept that just doing it is the accomplishment, right? I've had that experience working in radio. As I was talking to Marina Bolotnikova, it was interesting because she's a writer for Vox, and I started the interview kind of awkwardly. I remember saying, something about like, what kind of like feedback do you get? I was saying, or do you get much feedback? Because like when I was in radio, like you would get like hardly any feedback ever. Obviously, because if you put out a story on the radio, then it goes out there. You don't know. It's not like you have people call in all the time unless you've done it. They'll call if you fucked up something royally. But so anyway, you might work on something for weeks, months, whatever, put something out there, and then have no idea whether anybody heard it, listened to it. Obviously, with social media and YouTube and all these things, we have things like view counts and subscriber counts, all those things that are sort of measurements, but they're also not exact. They're not like, that doesn't really tell you the impact that it's having. I mean, sure, if you have a video that got like 1 million views or something, you can basically accept that had some impact. Whereas if you have a video with one, you can safely assume that had very little to no impact. But you get what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm trying to offer some point for y'all hanging out with me rather than just watching the video.
Recognize a lot of our students on this call. Just want to say I love you. I love that you're no nonsense, drama free, no attitude. I love
that's how I need to end my interviews. I just want to say I love you. That was pretty good for us. I should start doing that. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, well, we're about to wrap it up here. With my one with Vegan Heretic, I just want to say, Stephen, before we go, I love you, and actually not, and just stop at that point and just and go silent and see what happens. Just want to say I love you. I imagine it would be that awkward.
Determination, and when I look at you, I see the next generation of game changers and next generation of Ingrid Newkirks. I want you to believe in yourself so much and keep pushing yourself, never take no for an answer, and keep changing the norms and change the status quo. And Ingrid, I know that you're unstoppable.
Hang on. Felix Regan Russell, the Canadian activist who was killed at a vigil, had this well-known quote about the impact of her activism. I don't know if it does any good, but I know doing nothing does no good. Yep. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And obviously, we now know that, of course, Regan did a lot. She did a lot. And even, in her death, she's an inspiration. And in some ways, even more, she's a symbol. not what she would have wanted, I'm sure, but her parents now. I've seen interviews with her parents and her parents joining vigils, I believe. So she impacted them to do more. It's pretty cool.
You always have been. You're 75 and you're still unstoppable. And I want people on this call to also understand that they can be unstoppable as well. And I think they are. So would you agree?
I think they're wonderful. The idea that you can do so much is just extremely exciting, and you'll be happy with yourself for doing it. So I wish each and every one of you a hugely successful activism career. Is the most important thing you'll do in your life.
Absolutely. So let's take some questions from students, I don't know if you have a hard stop in 5 minutes. If not, we can just continue as much as you just let us know.
Yeah, we can go a little longer. I have an obligation at about 7:15.
Amazing, fantastic. All right, a few ASAP students had questions, so I'll let them go. And then everyone else, please ask your questions in the chat, and then we'll continue with that. Ryan, you had a question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to ask, one thing when we're doing outreach on campus, we have a unique opportunity where, unlike doing outreach in a random city like New York City or another town, we're going to be able to have follow-up with those students more likely. It's not that we're never going to be able to speak to them again. They could be a classmate, professor, somebody who lives in our dorm. Because of that, how would you go about bringing up a conversation a second time around, where in the context they've seen other posters, where could be a wide range. They were receptive the first time or they weren't receptive. How would you go about approaching that second conversation you have with that person, especially because you're going to keep seeing that person over and over again?
I guess it depends on who the person is and what the interaction was, of course. But if they were not receptive, I would be inclined to say, hey, John, I know that it sort of rubbed you the wrong way that we were doing this on campus, whatever. And I just wonder, is there some aspect of this whole movement that really does interest you? Or, I mean, like, and I would name a thing like trophy hunting, or, something they would probably agree is wrong, and then just say, oh, that's cool, and then start to talk to them. If they were with you in your camp or seemed to be nodding along, I might say, hey, it was really nice of you to stop by the other day. I have a question. We've got this new poster or something coming up, and I'd really like to get your input, because being on the inside, I might be too close to it. Could you possibly give me some thoughts about it? And that allows you to give them some more input subtly, as well as have them feel that they're part of something. Those are just two baby ideas, but the other thing is feed them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Any demonstration that we've done where there's been a food aspect has been pretty successful. Like there was one that was like a dairy event where we would give out vegan cheese and stuff. And people do stop and eat the vegan cheese. The cheese is great, so it's a pretty good. I mean, I can't believe we're still talking about cheese. The cheese is great now, but there was a period of time, I guess, early on when the vegan cheese wasn't so great. Ingrid's 75, eh? Okay.
Yes, take note, guys, when you post there everywhere with these moral urgency signs. So, and feeding people free food. All right.
I'm really glad somebody's working on college campuses. Yeah. Thank you to Dr. Faraz Harsini and his group, Allied Scholars.
Can we unmute Sharia?
All right. Thank you so much for this really inspiring talk. You're someone who has such a wide breadth of experience in animal activism. And I was wondering whether you think that we would achieve animal liberation in our lifetimes, where you think the animal rights movement is at right now, whether it's at a particularly weak point or strong point, and where you think it needs to go to achieve animal liberation.
Big question.
Well, funny enough, I mean, every movement comes up a bit and then plateaus, and may dip a bit and then comes up, plateaus, dips a bit perhaps, and so on. So I don't really care where it is at the moment. The job is ahead of us. And it's really, a lot of it is up to us as to how much it progresses and how fast. It's within us. If we shy away or we're not as active as we might be, then it's not going to move as fast. I mean, it sounds so glaringly obvious, but it's true. I do think I can look back.
Also, the number of animal activists is pretty small, which makes me feel, and I'm sure makes y'all feel, even more weight of responsibility, because there aren't that many of us. Yeah, it's just not that many people doing it. That's one reason why, for my little baby YouTube channel, I've had a chance to interview really amazing, accomplished activists, is because there just aren't that many. That's one of the reasons. So yeah, so that just means that we all just have to take on more. I like that Ingrid always answers questions in these ways. She's very good to try and empower and encourage more activism.
Have this luxury of being able to look back since Peter started 45 years ago, see these wrinkles. And back then, there was no oat milk, there was no almond milk, it didn't exist. If you wanted an alternative to milk, which was considered bizarre, you had to take a soy powder and mix it by hand with water. That's really true. Everyone wore fur if they could afford it. Now, of course, it's really gone. Ringling Brothers was carrying elephants around the country and railroad cars and chaining, gone. So I see that because of sheer activism and educational outreach, we changed enough minds, we made people think twice, and we made it become mainstream that you would want plant milk, you'd never go to an animal circus, all these things. So I also study the civil rights movement and other movements, and I imagine their hopeless feelings when the whole world told them to go to hell. Who were they? Sojourner Truth. If anybody hasn't read Sojourner Truth's life, it's so interesting. A very diminutive Black woman who used to go into all male white audiences, stand on a soapbox, and they would throw things at her, set fire to her hotel. And she just said, but I got the truth. Here's it. I'm like you. Don't I deserve the respect you deserve? We have those facts about animals. And I think as long as we are steadfast and we are unafraid to say what we should never be afraid to say, it's just the stark truth, the kindness, it's about stopping misery, then it will move faster. And it always has depended on people thinking nothing is hopeless. I'm going to make this work. I'm just going to do my part as much as I can. I'm going to seize those opportunities.
Thank you, Ingrid. OSU guys, you had a question.
Thank you very much from everyone at OSU and our ASAP chapter for doing this wonderful talk. Our question was, so like obviously as college students, we're all pretty new to the animal rights, animal liberation movement. I was wondering if you would be able to offer us some perspective on how the animal rights movement has evolved from decades ago to now, and also the sort of trajectory that you think we should be taking in the future, like sort of perspective we should adopt, the actions we should be taking, things
They're asking her some really broad questions, huh?
like that.
Gosh, that's a question. That's a biggie. It really started as an animal welfare movement. Animal welfare, of course, is part of animal rights. You want the welfare of animals. But it started with people objecting to vivisection, objecting to animals being cut up in medical schools, and so on, often without anesthesia or without proper anesthesia. It sort of grew. It started in England for some reason. It grew. It became, after Peter Singer was woken up to veganism, He published his book in 1976, I think it was, and that started to creep into the public consciousness. There were a couple of events, get-togethers or whatever, where people suddenly started to hear about maybe animals are just like us, maybe we shouldn't discriminate against them, maybe they don't belong to us, maybe they're not just burgers on the hoof, maybe their skin belongs to them, not to us. And so people started to discuss that, and groups sprung up, like psychologists for the ethical treatment of animals, veterinarians for animal rights, all these specialized groups sprung up, nurses against vivisection. That sort of became an amalgamated movement. And then other groups, after Peter started, there was one group before us, International Society for Animal Rights. It was in Pennsylvania. It wasn't doing much because we were so outlandish and we were so I guess aggressive, to lack a better word, in putting the issue out there, challenging people who were abusing animals. It took on a life. The media wanted to talk about it. What is this strange thing? Animal rights, never heard of it. After a period of time, the media changed and discussion on the media sort of faded away. There weren't really chat shows in the same way. It all became frivolous. It was about sex, or it was about fashion, so serious discussion has faded away in a lot of shows. Now, if it's serious, it's usually about politics or war or something like that. So we've had a hard time, but social media has helped the animal rights movement, because instead of the old days of when you had to hand out a pamphlet on the street, now you can put some.
She skipped over a lot because she was actually giving a very thorough answer, I thought, actually. And then so she went basically from basically where PETA was formed to where we have social media. I thought she was going to talk about things like the ALF, like I talked about with the Free the Animals book that she wrote. She's the author of that book, talking about the history of how the ALF came to America, the Shack campaign. I thought she might touch on that. Yeah, but she is trying to answer a big question. But anyway, I'll recommend it again since there's a few more people in the chat. Free the Animals. Definitely check that out. That's a good book about how ALF came from the UK to America.
Something on social media and get 1 million views, which we do often. We just got 7.2 million for something we posted. And so you're educating a lot of people suddenly. Of course, now with social media, as you said, you're being bombarded with all sorts of other stimuli. And so you have to sort of weed it out. But we are able to educate.
Look at all the trolls we get today, huh? It's like I put on a video that has Ingrid Newkirk and like moths to a light. They just start fluttering over, huh? Jesus. Yeah, Free the Animals. Let's see. I know a lot of people don't like using Amazon, which I completely understand, but I'm just going to send the link to the book on Amazon so that y'all can look at it. There you go. Free the Animals.
Okay, faster. We got rid of all sorts of things. Now the movement is, I think, got to think about, it's not just what you eat. It's how you clothe yourself, how you entertain yourself, what you accept in language about animals, whether there's derisory language, denigrate.
Well, there's a lot that's wrong with Amazon. One of the things that recently quite annoys me about Amazon is that the owner, Jeff Bezos, gave $1 million to Trump's inauguration, along with Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, or what the hell do they call it now? Meta. Yeah. So a bunch of, billionaires gave a bunch of money to Trump, including Amazon founder. Is he the founder? I can't remember. But anyway, the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Language. All these things are important, as we learned in the women's movement and civil rights. They're all important in the animal rights movement. And one of the hidden cruelties that is now coming to the fore is, of course, again, as it started, animal experiments. Most universities have hidden away in their basements and their closed areas absolutely atrocious things that are happening to animals. And there are millions upon millions of animals. If their use was any value, we'd have a cure for the common cold, and we don't. You know, technology has taken over, and we need to say we won't accept this. So we can't just protest it. We have to infiltrate and get photographs of it and challenge the administration about the amount of money that they're getting for it. Those kinds of things. I hope that answered your question in some way.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, she was giving a really thorough, detailed answer.
All right, thank you. Let's take another question from people who raised their hand. I see a student from UT Austin. Fed, do you have a question?
So with the human population growing and meat consumption projected to double by 2050, should we give up? And what gives you hope?
Dennis, I'm not going to waste my time reacting to dumb comments. Unless I have something to add to them, I'm not going to waste my time or y'all's time. That's, I have people here who would prefer to engage with intelligent content or at least entertaining content, and someone coming into my chat to say, I like meat is not interesting at all. So nah, they're not going to get a response from me. Yeah, no.
Well, looking back gives me hope because I see how far we've come against enormous odds.
But
and
welcome trolls. Thank you for helping my channel. I appreciate it.
Massive obstacles. My philosophy is if you run into a brick wall, bang your head against it until it falls.
Yeah, she's in incredible shape and just incredibly vibrant person. Such a great speaker, so passionate, wonderful human being.
Under it, climb over it, find a way to get around it. But there are things happening. I mean, you just look at water, the use of water. We can't sustain the use of water in meat production that doubles or trebles. It just can't be done. Land use, we can't do it even with factory farms where they're cramming them into the smallest of spaces. And there are things now like in vitro meat that shows promise. And, if you can take a few cells, some people have said, oh, how can PETA support in vitro meat? Because they're animal cells. And I say, we're against suffering. We're not purists. We're against causing suffering and needless death. So if you can take a few cells from an animal and spare all these other animals, millions of them slaughter, then that's pretty good. So I think that's going to help. We've got these companies that are reducing the price of what I call taste-alikes. Taste-alike ice cream, taste-alike shrimp, taste-alike this. And the more you feed people those things, the more they see that, oh, I can live with this. This is fine. And those prices have to come down. So price reduction, in vitro meat, activism, feeding people, all that is going to help. And water is a huge, huge, huge boost for us that you cannot sustain animal-based agriculture and have enough water for it.
One thing that's just everyday noticeable about PETA's social media is that they do a lot of calling out specific companies. And because they have millions of followers on their social media, that actually does have quite an impact. And I think you could, I don't want to take anything away from any activist, so please don't think I'm doing that or giving that impression, but I think they deserve a lot of credit for some of the recent moves by Starbucks, Pete's, Dunkin' Donuts. I think they deserve a lot of the credit for those companies dropping the surcharge on vegan milks. Yeah, if not, you know, the entire credit, definitely a good bit of the credit for spreading the words about those. Yeah, PETA's amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. I know that there are a lot of questions. There is one in the chat that I think is very important, and we get this question a lot. So Jared is asking about humane washing and welfareism driven strategies that can, you know, can actually like hold the movement back and sort of backfire. So what do you think about that?
Well, PETA has started to really push.
Yeah, so so to respond to you, Dennis, I mean, sometimes trolling is interesting. So far, the trolls today have not been interesting. Up your game, maybe you'll get a response from me, but you know, it was sort of clownish stuff that we had today. So I'd rather focus on this video. We're almost done with this one, but Ingrid is such a legend. It's just cool to see an interview with her, and also Dr. Faraz. You know, I haven't featured a ton of Faraz's content on my channel yet, other than the human milk thing that he was doing with Jamie Logan. So I was happy to see this interview. This came out today.
The Humane Society of the United States, CIWF, Compassion in Wild Farming, and the American Humane Association to disassociate themselves from this GAP certification or program. It's something you'll find at Whole Foods, the labeling system. And they will say, well, it's better to work from the inside because we're pushing farmers toward a better, more humane treatment. And at some point I would have said, okay, right, if you can push farmers forward, you can't always go from A to Z. Going from A to M or A to P might be better than just not doing anything. But what has happened with humane washing is abysmal. They used to have a system where there were 5 grades, 5 gradations. So a farmer could come in and have grade 1, and you'll see it marked on the packages of meat and dairy and eggs. And that meant that they were doing some little thing. I mean, there are a million cruelties in factory farming from the time the animal's born until they're slaughtered. But they were doing one thing. And then if they did a few more things, they might be a grade 2 stamp. And you could go to Whole Foods and you could, not me, but you could say, oh, I'm going to get the highest grade. I'm going to get a grade 5 slice of steak. Well, that meant something. It meant that it wasn't humane. How dare anyone say it was humane or cruelty-free or whatever? It was slightly less cruel. At 1, there was almost no distinction. They've eliminated that. Everybody is just stamped with approval. So now you go to Whole Foods, some unthinking person, they look at a package of hamburger, and the Humane Society of the United States has approved the farming practices behind this. And you think, what? You are going to approve factory farming with all its horrors, from ear notching, debeaking, putting in cages, putting them on the truck in all weather, scaring the bejesus out of them, hanging them up? No, you've got to stop. And I think what happened was, in the beginning, these groups who also, you know, they had a big membership, and they started as animal welfare groups, and they've stayed that way within the meaning of slightly larger chains, you know, not doing this, not doing, but really exploiting animals is okay.
Here's where I stand on welfare versus abolition and all that sort of thing. So if we're talking about laws, passing laws like Prop 12 or whatever, Prop 2, where they're banning a certain practice, anything that makes it like more cost prohibitive to kill animals, I'm in favor of. There's a sort of a difference between what we're talking about, like these animal welfare groups doing certifications. That's bullshit. The Animal Rising investigation of the RSPCA in the UK was fantastic. Joey Carbstrong's done a lot with that as well. Many others. I don't mean to just name a few, but many other people have done great work with that in the UK. And it's the same thing in the United States with any kind of like government certification, like USDA government certified, organic certified, whatever, all this nonsense. The certifications are horseshit. To me, that is different though, than like if a group like, I don't know, Humane Society is able to pass a law that requires a larger cage or something. I know that some people will argue that that gives the animal abusers this way of saying, look, we do it now in a humane way. I don't know, like to me, anything that makes it more prohibitive for them to do it, it's why they fight it tooth and nail. Right, let's see, catch up on the sorry, I'm behind on the chat. Plant-based food subsidized. You can look up like charts. No, it's not like the comparison is something like I don't remember the figure, but animal ag is subsidized like at least 20-30 times more. It's something like, I don't know. I shouldn't even say because I don't have the figures pulled up. There is some very minimal subsidization for fruit and vegetable growers, but it very substantially pales in comparison.
They used to have hunters, they may still, on their board of directors, people who owned racehorses on their board of directors. The annual meeting, people would arrive in fur coats. Those times, surely they have to see, and if enough of us tell them, they've changed. They should not be afraid to tell their membership, I'm sorry, we thought we were doing the right thing, that we've decided we can't support factory farming and slaughter. No one needs to eat these animals. There are ample choices out there. There are ones that don't break the bank. You can eat very cheaply as a vegan with beans and rice and, pasta and tomatoes. It's there. There's no excuse anymore. And so we're pushing them to stop humane washing, which is just like greenwashing. And sometimes they're coupled. You have organic, farm fresh, humanely produced. It's all rubbish.
Bullshit.
So we ask everybody to please get in touch with them. And
the biggest bullshit on the planet, organic. It is horseshit. So organic foods are required to use, are prevented from using nitrogen-enriched fertilizers, meaning they use the fertilizer they get from factory farms. Organic is bullshit. They use the ground up baby chicks from the egg industry, blood, bone. All of that is a product that the factory farmers sell to the organic growers, and then vegans buy the organic food thinking it's better for the environment. They're subsidizing the animal agriculture industry by buying organic produce. So if you have the choice between buying organic and conventional, get conventional.
say,
we've been lied to for ages by these things. Organic is a certificate. It's just like this. It's a certification. And yeah, don't fall for it. Guys, stop getting duped. I have spent so much of my life, probably like 5 years, insisting that everything I bought had to be like organic this, organic that. I was so playing into that bullshit. I would go to this when I lived in DC. It is so cringy to me now. We would go to this farmer's market. We'd go there. We'd get these Amish farmers would come down from Pennsylvania to DC to sell their yogurt and their organic vegetables and shit. And we would buy all that stuff thinking we were doing something so great. Oh, God, I wish I could rewind time. I wish I could give a big Well, I can. Here, fuck you, Organic Valley Milk, with your your bullshit cartons that have the little cartoons of the farmers that you bought it from. Go fuck yourself, Organic Valley.
Time's up.
Yeah, thank you. I think this, like every
I
time we
have-
talk to a student, I know you have to go in a
I
second.
do.
Yeah. Thank you so
Sorry.
much for giving extra time to us and to our students. Really appreciate it. Sorry we can't answer all the questions, guys. But again, you are an inspiration for all of us. Thanks for everything you've done. You don't do this to hear thank you, but thank you on behalf of animals who can't thank you.
But let me say thank you to each and every person who's going to do something, who is doing something, and who will inspire.
Oh, another thing about organic that I thought was really interesting was during Wayne's trial in Sonoma County, where he had led this big demonstration. There were chickens rescued from this factory farm chicken producer. They literally were on the same facility. They had sheds. Here's the organic ones. Here's the conventional ones. Guys, they're the same facility, housed in different buildings. It's so bad. And yes, they collect all the fertilizer from that, send it to the organic farmers. And we were supposed to think, oh, that's really nice. That's great. And they also kept making the point that they had solar panels on the farm. And we were all supposed to be like, oh. And so many people, I'm sure, in the jury probably were thinking, oh, well, they do things the right way over there with the solar panels.
Us to do something. And any question you have that hasn't been answered, please,
But
you can
both, Alicia. But what I'm specifically talking about with that farm was animal organic. But the fertilizer from that factory farm is used for growing organic fruits and vegetables. So it makes the factory farmers more money because that's a product that they sell.
send it to me. And I think
So if you don't want to subsidize factory farming and animal agriculture, buying organic does so more than conventional. So if I'm in the grocery store, and I know I realize a ton of vegan products are made with organic foods. So I'm not like militant about this, and I don't want it to seem harder. So I don't bring this up a ton, but I'm starting to because I see people talk about organic a lot as though it's something good and virtuous, and it's not. It's a marketing scam. So I'm not militant about it, but if I'm in the produce section and I've got an apple here that's regular apple, and then one over here, and then the section with the organic, and it's more expensive, I get the conventional.
Faraz will give you a contact information. Please ask the question. I'm happy to answer absolutely anything. And
Good way to save money
Thank you.
too.
Thanks so much, Ingrid.
bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys.
Good
Thank you
video.
very
Good
much
video
for
for
joining
us.
us. I hope you are inspired. Just remember, it's easy to be inspired now that you just to Ingrid. The trick is
I know it was a little dry, y'all, to watch an interview or a Zoom call, but it's Ingrid and it's Faraz, so you know, they're both awesome. Here's the link to that video. Please show it some love. Sub to Faraz Harsini. Check out that book we were talking about, Free the Animals by Ingrid Newkirk. That's great. Yeah, cool. All right, I've got, y'all know, we didn't have any Mel and Steve in the last stream, which was bonkers. It's the first time in a while, but they're back. Okay, let me take down the, oh God, we had the trolls talking so much that I can't find my original message. There we go. All right.
What about if we hunt you? What about if I hunt you and I kill you and I skin you and I eat you?
Well, the thing is, well, I mean,
I'm bigger and
thanks,
stronger than
absolutely,
you.
but
How about I hunt you because you're smaller than me How about the might make does might make right? Does might make right because you can do it? Because you can do it to animals?
because I need the protein and
What, mate?
I use every bit of the animal.
You get protein.
Yeah, he's vegan. At least 3 years, I think. He's a lot bigger than you. He seems to be doing fine getting his protein.
Where else can you get protein? Where do you think I'll get my protein?
Well, from plants, I imagine.
So
Do
you
know
can get
how
from plants,
many
right?
animals are killed when they do planting?
Who do they?
Guys, I swear I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my fucking mind addressing crop deaths every fucking day of my life. I realize I'm just reacting to a video, but goddamn, we need a like a big TV special. 60 Minutes needs to do a segment about if do people watch 60 Minutes? And I don't even know what people watch anymore. Something needs to be done about this crop death argument that we have to deal with every time. You know how many animals?
Who?
Plants, I imagine.
So
Do
you can get from plants,
how many
right?
animals are killed when they do planting?
Who eats the majority of plants?
You know, like avocado plants. You know how many rodents?
Mate, you
and
watch too much
animals are
Piers
killed?
Morgan, mate. You want to watch some like,
Yeah,
proper people
yeah,
like Joey
yeah,
Armstrong, Tash Peterson.
Mate, it's
Uh,
like how many animals are killed to knock down the acres for planting? Do you know how many trees?
Dude, okay. I'll let Steve handle it. Take it away, Steve. Take it away. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it today. It's you. You got it.
And why do they do it? Where do all them plants
I'm
go?
gonna sit here and pout.
Between where all the
You're
plants?
saying that they deforest all the Amazon
Well,
rainforest. Where do they go? No, they stay
sort
here.
of agriculture.
Yeah,
they have to
yeah.
knock down loads of woodland, which kills loads of innocent animals.
What is the leading cause of deforestation?
Well, farming, probably.
Right.
Yeah,
So
farming, but
you
yeah,
can't
but-
use that argument to keep hurting animals.
Oh, mate,
You can't use it. You're deflecting all over it. But you hurt animals. You hunt animals. You just said you hunt. Hang on, beforehand. Hang on, don't run away, mate. Don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. A minute ago, you were saying to me, I hunt them, I kill them, and all this sort of stuff, right? But then
I like
you're
that
also
Steve didn't let him go. He followed them.
all like,
No, so I used every part of it. I think it's respect. That would not be
you
funny.
can't respect someone all the time you're
What do
shooting
you
them.
mean? So, well, look, isn't it?
Jeffrey Dahmer probably ate all the different parts of the human, right? That was probably so respectful to those victims, right? I don't think he did, actually. I think that was an inaccurate historical statement. I think he just took select parts. I'm sorry.
It's the Native American affair, right? Like doing that, right? Doing his Native Americanism. That's part of their culture. They hunt these
Yeah,
every bit of the
yeah,
animals.
yeah.
It's not wasting any
So
animal.
culture dictates you to hurt animals, so you're going to continue to do it.
Well, I think it's respectful. I do. I think it's part of it.
How can you
kill
respectfully
livestock,
take the life of
farmers,
someone
they
who
take
doesn't want to die?
Well, it's like if you kill a fox, all right? If you kill a fox, it kills sheep in Wales, right? They take from farmers' livelihood. So then when you go up there and you're killing rabbits and foxes, you're eating them, so you're not wasting them. But they're destroying the farmers, vegetables, carrots, everything that they sell to
But
provide.
all this is real weak excuses for stopping to hurt animals. You can live vegan and stop hurting animals, but you're using things like foxes eating carrots or foxes like whatever. These are all nonsense excuses when you come down to it. Do you truly believe that these excuses are legitimate reasons to keep hurting animals?
Yeah. Well,
You're in a position of power. You could smile and laugh, but there's a victim. You're killing people.
I'm not
You're
killing
killing animals. You just said you hunt animals. What's the moral difference between a human and an animal? Why can we do it to animals and why can't we do it to humans?
well, I guess because we feel more.
You feel more.
We feel more.
You don't think that animals feel pain.
Well, I
You don't
we
think
feel
that animals
pain.
suffer.
But I think we're apex predators, though, aren't we?
Doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Whether you're an apex predator or not, what you can live with not hurting animals. So why would you not choose to?
I'm done this thing. Nothing to do.
But why would you not choose to?
Because I enjoy meat. I love it.
You enjoy it. Now this is the truth.
I love it.
So
I love
all the
meat.
other bullshit
I think vegan
before
foods
that,
tastes terrible, and I love eating meat.
all the other bullshit nonsense about
Yeah, I
foxes
love
and
a steak,
farmers,
I
that
love
was
the taste
all
of it.
rubbish. You like the taste of it.
Yeah.
That's no way near a good enough excuse to keep hurting animals. No
Well,
way.
I think it's my life choice, isn't it?
Let me say, I like raping. I like the feeling of sex. So I'm going to rape women. I like it. Don't care what
that's
your
different,
opinion
it's
is.
morally wrong,
What about I like children trap?
All right, just pause real quick so I can add some commentary and have some point to this. But what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. He said, like Steve was giving the example. Oh, I like the feeling of sex, so I'll just R women, right? I like it. So, and he said, but that's morally wrong. Okay, well, yeah, but it's an analogy of two things that are morally wrong. Ding dong. It's a he's making the point that someone gets pleasure from someone else's body, but there's a victim. So just because you like it doesn't justify it.
Like child trafficking. It's morally wrong. You just said, yeah?
Yeah, it's
I think that killing
That is
animals is
an
morally
apex.
wrong.
Yeah, but
Why is killing
That's an
animals not
apex
morally
predator.
wrong?
I think that's a completely different point.
Why?
Like,
That's an apex vegan predator right there. Sorry, I didn't mean to call Steve a predator. That's an apex vegan activist.
It's
you
an
said
injustice.
raping, like,
It's an
raping
injustice.
and child trafficking.
There's a victim to my desire. Same as there's a victim to your desire.
Well, I mean,
Your
those
desire is
debate-
you like the sensory taste pleasure, yeah?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now there's a victim involved with your sensory taste pleasure. Same as the example I gave you, there's a victim involved in my sensory taste pleasure. But you're now telling me that mine's immoral, but yours is moral.
Right, it's
But
my
you can't
birthday,
tell me
I'm
why it's
done,
moral.
right? It's my birthday, so I'm going out.
Why is it moral?
So I can't be asked to keep debating.
Because you know you're in a corner and you've got no way
it's
out
not.
of
I'm
it.
just love meat. I'm going to keep eating meat. I'm sorry.
It's
That's my
good for you.
choice, my
Listen,
personal-
there's always a
You're
small
entitled to
percent.
your choice. I'm going to stop eating vegan meat. I don't stop
Of
eating
course,
mine.
of course, because
So
I don't have a.
Right, but yeah, you don't care. You're saying, yeah, you have your choice, I have my choice. Yeah, the issue is that you don't care. Of course you don't care. You're the one harming someone. Obviously you don't care. So yeah, of course you don't care that Steve doesn't harm. You don't care about any of this. You don't care. That's the issue. But why did you even walk up in the first place? How did it start? We're at 3:52. Let's start again. I just want to see how it began.
What about if we hunt you? What about if we hunt you? What about if I hunt you and I kill you and I skin you and I eat you?
Oh, we don't see how it began. They probably tried to troll. That's the vibe. That's the vibe.
Because I don't have a victim. You have a victim. You have a victim. You're the oppressor. It's easy for you. You can walk away, but there's victims with your blood in your hands. And there's always a small percentage of people who are just don't care. There's always to be a small percentage of people.
I think the majority of people don't care, though. I think
No,
that's the
you're
problem,
wrong.
isn't it?
The majority of people
Like,
do care.
If I want to eat meat, I'll eat meat. If you want to eat plants, you eat plants.
And if I want to rape women, I'll just go rape women.
Yeah, but it's completely different. You
No.
say that, like, and that's
There's a
what we
victim.
can't-
There's a
Say that
victim
makes
for a
no sense.
sensory
It's the same
pleasure.
as eating the fucking
What's the
steak.
difference?
It's a massive difference.
There's a victim and there's a sensory
Oh,
pleasure.
but you're saying raping women is the same as eating a steak.
I'm saying that both
That's
of these
what you're saying.
scenarios,
Like, that's the-
both of these scenarios has a victim and a sensory pleasure. Psychopaths, mate, animal abusers. Always, when you put people in a corner when it comes down to drawing analogies within injustices, they just think that the analogy you give them is crazy.
Yeah.
The reality of the analogy I gave him was raping a woman involves a sensory pleasure and a victim. He was telling me that killing an animal gave him the sensory pleasure of taste. But when you align the two analogies, apparently my one's weird and it doesn't fit because his brain automatically is like starting to be triggered and sort of trying to avoid the fact that actually if you logically think about the analogies, they're exactly the same. But he wants to continue to do what he wants to do, regardless of the victim. But there's always a small percent of people who just don't care. And
Yep, that is the case. That is the case. Look, Dane from To the Grave is streaming. He's live. Playing Escaping Tarkov. Tarkov. I'm streaming him while he's streaming live. That's Dane Evans from To the Grave. Best band ever. The best band that ever lived. They have their. So if y'all are bored of my stream, which I understand, here's a link to that. Huh? What happened? I don't think they're letting me do that. I don't think they let me do that. Can y'all still see what's happening? I think when I was streaming Dane, I don't think it okay. Well, I was looking for a new video and then I saw him streaming. Okay. All right, so anyway, that's To the Grave. Here we go. We got some Arvind. Okay, let me hang on a sec. There we go. Is it working now? What's the deal? Ah, the glitch again. Damn it. All right.
Vegan is stronger than a non-vegetarian.
Here's
Sir, do you
Arvind,
think
animal activist.
vegan is stronger than a non-vegetarian?
Physically stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the individual.
Right.
Okay, sir. Like a person is following a perfect diet.
Mhm.
Do you think he is good than a non-vegetarian?
You have to be specific here. He's following a perfect diet. What does that mean?
Vegan diet.
Okay. Do you think he is better than other people?
Yeah.
In what way?
Other people who are eating non-veg.
I will definitely say he is more moral as a human being, and I'll say what the non-vegan is doing is immoral, 100%. By better, I'm not saying that this person is superior, he deserves more rights or anything. But what this person is doing is the right thing for justice. What that person is doing is injustice. That I'll openly state, yes.
Sir, I'm not talking about justice or injustice. I'm just talking about the physical strength. Because the physical strength.
Okay. So someone is doing, again, that's what do you mean by a perfect vegan diet for athletics you're talking about? And there's a non-vegan who's doing perfect athletics.
Okay.
Who will be better?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not an expert to talk about this, first of all. But from what we can see, I guess that the vegan has to make certain adjustments to what he is consuming as food in order to match.
Yeah, Dennis, he makes the same arguments because he gets the same questions all the time. Like we've said during the stream, he has to answer the same bullshit all the time. There's only like a few excuses for this shit. Ed did a great series. I think Danny Lifting Vegan Logic did a nice series. He did an ebook of debunking all the arguments. There's nothing new coming out. There's no new arguments. I mean, I was trying yesterday. Yesterday we heard Wyoming though, and we heard some Canadian province though. Winnipeg? I don't know. What's Winnipeg maybe? Felix knows. Felix, you're Canadian. So he should go against people. He goes to a classroom. This is not Dennis. He goes to a classroom. He takes questions. That's what he's doing.
Match the level of whatever nutrition the non-vegan is getting, because as a non-vegan, especially in this current society, they do have certain advantages. The meat, dairy, and eggs are more easily available. They are cheaper. And not to mention the protein there is more bioavailable. But a vegan can compete on equal footing if the vegan is also willing to take those kind of protein supplements, because he has to match the same nutrition, right? It is possible to match, yes. But the vegan has to rely if he wants to compete on that level, like say in Olympics, we have vegans who are in Olympics, by the way. Such people, yeah, they probably take protein supplements
But
as well.
I think a rare people. I think a rare persons are there in Olympics who are
Hang on.
The number of vegans on Earth itself.
For once, I don't agree with Arvind there. What is he talking about? They have to take protein supplements. Okay, if the vegan is taking protein supplements, the non-vegan is taking protein supplements. If you're talking about protein powder, no, vegans do not need to eat protein supplements. They can just eat. This is the first time I think that I've actually disagreed with Arvind. I don't disagree with his overall point, but that little nitpick didn't make any sense to me. I mean, that comment didn't make any sense to me. That vegans struggle to compete at the Olympics. Ask Novak Djokovic if he's struggling to compete. Ask Serena Williams. Ask Lewis Hamilton. Ask all those people in the Game Changers. Ask the whole Tennessee Titans defense who made the playoffs during that year. Like, no.
It's very low. So we are rare in general itself. How many vegans have made before? First person? So we are all rare only.
Okay, sir. Just before my friend asked it that plants are not, I mean, life, they are also life. Same like animals are also life. Yeah, just you told that
Montreal, nice.
Plants can't express their pain.
Montreal, isn't that the biggest city? Or Montreal or Toronto? Vancouver, maybe? Biggest cities in Canada? I think Montreal, right? I've never been there. I've been to Quebec. Quebec. One time I said Quebec and somebody corrected me and said, no, it's Quebec. So I don't know how to say it. Beautiful, beautiful town. City, I guess.
I just want to compare with a human being who is not having eyes, ears, and
hyperlink.
Who is deaf, blind, and dumb.
Toronto, okay.
Can we kill him?
No.
Then how we are killing the plants? Because the same, he can't express the pain.
No, a plant is not deaf, blind, or dumb. To be deaf, you need to have eardrums that don't function.
Just a comparison, I'm saying.
The comparison is not a valid one,
It
right?
can't express its pain.
No, but
Alicia, you're also Canadian? I like that I get like an international crew in here. We got the UK, Canada. That might be it. I don't know who all's in the chat today. Beyond that, I think we got those two countries covered, though.
Right, the word, we had to be specific here. The word you said was you're comparing a plant to a deaf, dumb, and blind human being, correct? So by definition of deaf, dumb, and blind, to be deaf, you need to have eardrums that don't function. To be blind, you have to have eyes that don't function. To be what is like deaf, dumb, and blind, or whatever it is, you need to have organs that don't function properly, right? In order to be called those. How can we compare such an organism to another organism that doesn't even have eyes or vocal cords or eardrums to begin with? The comparison biologically in the beginning itself is wrong, because this one has organs that don't function. For example, take a human being who is not cognitively too good. They have some kind of handicap, mentally. Will we compare that human to a potato? Because the potato doesn't even have a brain. This human has a brain. Something has gone wrong here. Potato doesn't even have a brain.
But
we do call them vegetables. We do. When someone is, in a coma, and we call them vegetables.
Sir, potato is somewhat valuable compared to the human.
To whom?
Potato is valuable to eat, but the person is not even valuable for anything.
Right. So the value, so that means then we have to take the question like, so the value of someone in society is based on how useful they are to you or to whom? Useful to whom, by the way? That child's mother might say.
Useful to for anything. Yeah. Now you are coming to emotions. Yeah. You're talking about emotions like you're saying that child and person.
Yes. Child's mother might say that this child's existence alone is enough for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So so based on what do we draw the line? I'm asking you. Yeah.
What I was asking is like a person, now you said he is a physically handicapped. He's not able to do anything. He's not a valuable person. See, like potato it's somewhat valuable that we can eat it. We're having something, some value for that. Then we are killing, we are eating that potato and we are keeping the human being alive. Why? Can't we kill him?
I would say no. Do you feel that we should have society where we kill and eat people?
Because many vegans I have.
But speaking hypothetically, I understand that you can speak. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. What's the question?
Many vegans, you're saying. Many vegans you've seen.
Many. I have talked to many vegans, because they are always saying that we should eat only plants. Why plant is also a life, right? It's also a life.
Right. So are you.
Yeah. Plant is also a life. Humans is also life. Animals are also a life. Right.
Right.
But eating animals is different from eating plants.
Yes.
How it is different?
Because one group,
Just here. Okay.
The difference.
Small.
I'll
I'll
tell you.
finish it.
The same difference between cutting off your nails and cutting off your fingers. The same difference between cutting your hair and cutting off your head is the difference between killing a plant and killing an animal. One group can feel pain and suffering, whereas another cannot. That's a clear distinction, right?
Yes. That's what, sir. Here, just we are speaking about the emotions.
Not emotion.
See, like
pain.
pain.
Pain. Yeah.
It's also an emotion, right?
You could say that. Fine.
Pain is also because.
Hang on, let me catch up. Take care, Dennis. Thanks for being here. Fiery but apologetic. Who's fiery? Who's fiery but apologetic or polite? Plants have feelings, though, and in India, even in India.
Here, rather than the pain, is there anything?
For what I'm speaking, no, two things: pain and consciousness.
Pain and consciousness. Yeah. Rather than this pain and consciousness, we can eat anything.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But again, I want to make a distinction. We cannot compare that to a human being who's brain dead, because I told you, to be brain dead, you have to have a brain that's not functioning. A human who is brain dead, something has gone wrong there. That is not the same as an organism that is born without a brain, without eyes, without nose, or any senses. That is different. There's a big distinction.
Then
here.
you say that plants are not having senses.
Yes.
Plants do not have senses.
I mean, they don't have eyes. The ones that we have, no, they don't have senses.
I mean,
to
they
feel.
don't have organisms, or they don't have senses.
You mean organs? You mean, yeah.
Organs.
Yeah, of course they have organs. Yes, of course they have organs. But I am saying that they cannot feel pain or suffering. That's my main point. This plant does not have a mind of its own.
Yeah.
It's not aware of like how you and me can see and know what's happening. Like
We're so up against it. We are so up against it. When we have to address crop deaths, plants feel pain every day, in every conversation, we are in trouble. In trouble, guys. Sorry, I did that thing that I tried to encourage us not to do and felt a little hopeless. And I should not. Yeah, but this is depressing.
Someone is pulling a gun, you will react. You know that fear and everything. That's not there in the plant. It's a very different organism. Animals, however, biologically, very, very similar to you. If you see a dog and you take a stone, what does the dog do?
So
same thing.
So they're not.
Someone dispersed those bingo cards far and wide. That bingo maker. Damn, they were effective.
Not reacting, so that's why we're killing them.
It's not because they're not reacting, it's that they can't react. There is no.
They can't react, so that's why we're
absolutely, yes, because I have to kill to eat, right? See, can I just breathe air and be alive? No.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's the question. I can't, right? So I have to kill.
Right.
I can either go from cannibalism all the way down to eating plants. So cannibalism, eating animals and eating all this stuff, that stuff causes pain and suffering and violence. Clearly here, there is no suffering at all. So obviously I'm picking this option. As a human being, I can. No, why should I do this?
Okay. And compared to like milk we are taking from the cow, this is more taken.
Good choice of words, taking.
By many vegans compared to the wool that is taken from the sheep. That is not. I mean, they are not saying that one. They are saying more about this one only. Why?
No. Like I mentioned, you were there in the beginning also.
No, I'm not there.
Okay. So I did say, yes, milk, meat, milk, eggs, honey, leather, wool, silk. We don't go to zoo or circus. We don't support buying pets from breeders. We don't support the sacrificing animal in terms of religion, culture, nothing. Zoo, circus, everything is equally wrong. We condemn all aspects.
Okay. And the last one, I just see, like animals are eating grass from the land, and they're like carnivores, not herbivores. They are herbivores, and the carnivores are more stronger than herbivores, right?
I mean, an elephant can crush a lion, if you ask me. An elephant can crush a lion.
The animals that are eating from the land, they are strong. Okay, fine. But
it depends on the species. Not goat is not strong, but horse is strong. It depends on the individual species, right? How do we tell? And my question to you is, as a human being living in this modern day and age, in this society, why does that matter? At the end of the day,
because many vegans I have seen, I mean, they are always saying about the ethics.
Yes.
Yeah, because only vegans mean ethics. We should follow the ethics.
That's the only point we have. We don't have any other point. Ethics is our only point.
Okay, then.
Because I'm thinking as human beings in society in this modern day and age.
I mean, ethics means just about the pain and consciousness. Not,
that is the
not
distinction.
anything.
No, no, that is the distinction we make. We have to, if you're saying, Arvind, why do you not eat plants if you don't eat animals? I have to give you a distinction, right? The distinction is, yes, pain and suffering. That is the distinction I'm giving you. But we are talking about all forms of animal exploitation and saying they're all wrong.
And maybe it can be funny, but a small last question. See, like every day, nearly 200 million chickens we are eating. Yeah. What if we don't eat? See, like 200 million chickens per day, they are growing. What if you leave them for 5 years or 10 years? How they'll survive?
They won't survive. They won't even exist. Like I told you, God did not bring in 2 million chickens every day. Neither does natural evolution bring in 2 million chickens every day. They come because we humans breed them into existence. We breed them for meat demand. If meat demand stops, means we won't breed them anymore.
But don't you think vegans are the interruptions of the life cycle?
No, you guys aren't non-vegans the one killing life?
I mean, just a question. I was asking.
What does that mean?
Don't you think that vegans are interrupting the life cycle? Because see, carnivores, herbivores, it's a life cycle. Don't you think that
anything man does in society is interrupting the life cycle? Because like you said, there could be someone who is physically challenged, right?
Yeah.
According to Darwinian law, nature's law, if that person is having some money or something I want, I can push them down, beat them and grab and go away. Survival of the fittest, right?
Because I'm just...
Wait, isn't that also stopping natural evolution? Because according to nature, only the strongest genes survives. Weakest ones dies, right?
Yeah.
So do you want that same rule to be applied in other parts of society also? That means you can justify anything. If a man beats up a child, if a man rapes a woman, that's also Darwinian evolution. She was weak. She couldn't run away.
Okay.
So if you are saying that even those acts, if you're saying that vegans are messing with life cycle, anything modern humans do in terms of values and ethics and morals is messing with life cycle. And we should mess with the life cycle because the life cycle in this universe is messed up. Nature is not fun. It's cruel. It's violent. It's brutal.
Okay.
We should mess with it. We humans have formed society and we should create a peaceful society for everyone. So we should mess with the life cycle. Life cycle is evil.
I'm just not talking about the chickens. I'm just talking about the human beings also. See, like the population is more. After 200 years, the population will be too much more.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we'll get a scarcity of resources. The same for chicken also, if we don't eat, we'll also get a scarcity of resources, right?
No.
From what?
From what they eat, chicken. They'll eat rice, right?
Yes.
They should eat something.
Not there,
because they are also animals, they should survive. They should eat something. So we are human beings, we're also eating something.
Okay. He answered this already. He said they wouldn't. Jesus. Yeah. I at some point in this channel, I'll probably have to start reacting to different kinds of content, or else I'll lose my mind. And so will y'all. Because it's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same dumb shit. Harness are morons. They are straight up fucking morons. And are immune to taking in new information, apparently.
You don't understand the point then. Chickens would, if the world becomes vegan, chickens, cows, pigs, and all other domestic animals will be at the verge of extinction. Why would you have, right now we told 200 million chickens, it'll instead be 2 chickens. So why would you have to worry about feeding 2? You can't feed 2 chickens. Why? Because only if we breed, we are breeding them, bro. Like you saw artificial insemination.
Do you think only due to breeding they are increasing?
Only due to breeding they exist in this modern day. We have this system of farming. It's called animal farming.
This, I guess, what might be helpful for these things is like have on your phone like all these charts, right, that you can pull up, including like maybe that one that shows all the we were talking about it yesterday, the how it's like what 36% humans are 36%, farmed animals are like take us up to like 96%, and then like 4 or 5% is wild animals. Like if you can just show people that will help people understand.
Farming, right? We have to breed.
I'm being charitable, assuming that people can understand things.
Okay, my friend, I think we have to close it up right now. And I have to go next class, but thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you all, by the way.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. What was that one gonna? Let's find one that's gonna cure my depression. That didn't do it. And I'm not seriously depressed, y'all. I'm just saying, here's a good one. This will be uplifting. Here we go. Our friend Chris Cooney, Vegan Zombie. A44 is out. I haven't seen it. It's out in New York State, I believe. In a few, they've had some screenings. I haven't seen it yet.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Chris. We got the black and white going right now.
Oh, wait, I didn't. Sorry. I need a link to Arvin's video. Show Arvin some love. He does great work. He really is exceptional. I know I made this assumption. Put them in a booklet. Yeah, put them in a booklet. Somebody name the elusive nutrient that we can't find in meat. I think what we lack, it's true, there is a lack on a vegan diet, a lack of brainworms. We are deficient in the brainworms. Oops, wrong one. There we go.
My good camera, it decided it doesn't want to work anymore. But I've got this old, yet usable webcam. It just looks really bad, so that's why we're in black and white. If you're new to the channel, I am the creator, writer, director of the brand new vegan horror movie A44, which we've shown now twice in a movie theater, and we've streamed it 4 times. The feedback that I'm getting is nothing but positive. Like, everybody has something good to say about it, which is amazing. You know, because of our no budget, we have no marketing ability other than word of mouth and these videos that I do.
I got you.
So
I got you, Vegan Zombie. Don't you worry. It's now being marketed, Chris, to 6 people. I got you.
So we're really relying on everybody else to, you know, say how good it is. But anyway, we have some reviews over on Letterboxd, the app. If you go over there, you can see what other people are saying about it. If you've seen it and you didn't write a review, you can go over there and write a review. See what other people are saying about
Let's
it.
read them. I mean, it may be a bit biased, but I'm really proud of this movie, Indie Forever. Outstanding debut feature from Chris Cooney. A mystery illness is taking hold of folks in an otherwise ordinary town. A group of friends scramble to find answers while battling for their own survival. The intriguingly titled A44 proves that the zombie genre is far from exhausted, a passion project that was 16 ... years in the making. I can finish that line. The movie had such a great message and a creative way of capturing the viewer's attention. Hard to believe this was a low-budget film. The writing and acting was very well done. Indy, Chris's dog, did an amazing job in his role. Watched this movie twice, and I know others will. Didn't expect to cry during a zombie movie. The storytelling, the editing, and music made me care about what happened, especially to Harley and Indy.
If you've seen
He was telling me,
review, you can go over there and
he was telling me his dog was the star of the show. I've been waiting for this movie for a long time, and I wasn't disappointed. I love the storytelling, the music, the meaning behind it, and I love seeing Indy again. Indy is a faithful and loyal friend. The bond between Harley and Indy was so strong. The movie had me laughing, crying, and yelling at the screen. I think Chris did an amazing job putting this low budget ... Awesome movie, storytelling so intriguing. All right.
write a review. Hopefully it's a good one. I thank everybody for that. We really want to get this out for more people to see it. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting it out there. But even though we've shown it a few times virtually and in person, there's a few people that reached out to me that said that they missed it. And I'm going to do one more virtual showing. So this is going to be a private live stream on YouTube that I'm going to show the movie. And it's going to be this Friday, May 16th at
Hey.
8 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to be doing a live Q&A.
We didn't miss it.
That I'm going to show the movie, and it's going to be this Friday, May 16th at 8 o'clock.
Let's put it in the chat. Let's put it in the chat. Friday, May 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, A44, the Vegan Zombie masterpiece that I haven't seen. Vegan Zombie is very, very cool. Very nice guy. I've only spoken to him one time in person, which was our interview, but he's also been really cool. Keep smiling. Have I smiled once during this stream, Alicia? I'll try to. I will try. I've tried. We've had some struggles today. Thanks for being here, Alicia. Have a good night. Should watch the show called The Strain. There's literally worms that turn you into vampires. Man. It's like real life. Yeah, Dr. Gregor is in this movie. And Jane Velez Mitchell and Chris stars in it. And his dog friend.
Eastern time. I'm going to be doing a live Q&A afterwards, and if you are in another time zone or that time doesn't work for you, I'm leaving it up there for 24 hours, so you can go back and you can watch it anytime within those 24 hours at your own convenience. So I will leave a link below this video so you guys can click on it, get yourself a ticket, and when you do that, don't forget you got to leave your email address. I had a few people not leave their email address, and I don't know your email address, so I can't send you the link. This is one of those things where I have to start the live stream a little bit before the movie starts in order to get a link to share it. So I will be sending you your link about an hour before the movie starts. So say somewhere around 7 p.m. you should get an email from me. If you don't see your email, make sure you check your spam folder. If you still don't see it, contact me and I'll get it over to you. This link is also going to be available to the Kickstarter supporters that supported being able to watch the movie and above. Anyone under that will have to buy a ticket like everyone else. So I'm looking forward to that on Friday. The other thing I want to talk about is something that I already touched upon, but I want to expand on it a little bit more. And that is,
I believe so, Neil. On his channel. Yes. Well, we'll get the link. Here, let's finish the video and we'll get the link.
The last showing of A44 was in Ithaca, New York at a theater called Cinemapolis. And I think I mentioned to you all that the owner informed me that we actually beat Marvel's new movie Thunderbolts that night in ticket sales.
Yeah.
Which I was blown away by hearing that. But when I did a little bit more research, that was also the opening weekend for them. Like we beat Marvel on their opening weekend with our little teensy itsy bitsy A44. So
that's because people rooting for you, Chris. And they want to see a good heartfelt movie that someone poured their heart into.
It just feels really surreal, but yeah, awesome to be able to say that my vegan horror movie beat out a Marvel movie. Wow. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting. And speaking of all the support, we also did a fundraiser for Tamerlane Animal Sanctuary. So we teamed up with Angel Hearts Diner and the Cinemapolis and everybody that came to support. We did a raffle. Angel Hearts made their donuts and they gave me their portion. I took my portion from some of the proceeds that we made from the ticket sales and we put it all together. We have $500 that we raised that we're going to be sending to Tamerlane. And I talked to Gabby, who is one of the co-founders of Tamerlane, and she informed me that they have a donor that's going to match whatever we give them. So on top of our 500, they're going to get another 500. So this event created $1,000 going towards the animals. That makes me happy. It makes me feel good that we're able to do this. This is something that I wanted to do in the first place when we did the Kickstarter a long time ago. And I hope I can do more of these and impact the animals in a positive way going forward. So yeah, good things are coming, and I'm trying still to get this movie out there. Right now I'm looking at moving into a theater, premiering it, previewing it at a theater out in Los Angeles sometime probably this summer. And I'm also looking at details on doing one in New York City, but I'm still trying to get it on a streaming platform so everybody all over the place can see it as well. So look out, tell everybody about it, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to the new horror movie A44, which will be coming soon. That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see some of you on Friday.
Hang on.
So stay safe, watch out for zombies. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, so this link, copy link address. I guess this is how you get it. I guess that's it. Oh, it's a long link. Anyway, y'all, go, I put the link to the video. You can get the link from that. What's up, Jeremy? Sinners. What's sinners? So yeah, you can you guys saw me, right? You saw it. It's right there. I guess you give them your PayPal, give them your money, give them access to your bank account, let them know your mother's maiden name, the name of your first pet, and the road that you grew up on, and your parents' birthdays, and also your social security. You're probably going to need that. He'll probably need that social security number too. So do all that, and then you get to watch A44. And while you're at it, send that stuff to me as well. For no particular reason. Just for the hell of it. What's up, Jeffrey? Jeffrey, it's your crew. It's your crew that gives me like half my audience, I think. It could be, Jeremy. Are you telling me that your first pet was named Jeremy and you grew up on Gord Street? All right. Let's see. Let's see. Well, that cheered me up a little bit to see something good other than dumb meat flake arguments. Yeah. Bite-sized vegan keeps popping up on my feed with videos from 8 years ago. I don't know why. Oh, interesting. Let's check this out. This Mike the Vegan. This is interesting. Vegans absorb more iron from plants.
Study, a controlled trial out of Spain, has found that vegans have superior absorption of plant-based or non-heme iron compared to meat eaters. We're going to look at the study results, which basically fed people a source of iron and then measured how much was making it into the blood. And we have some other.
This is interesting, but it's just like, again, like, just eat food, guys. Just eat, and you won't have any issue. I know y'all know that, but so many people just don't understand how to put the food right into the face hole. It's too much for them.
updating blood results in there as well, including the actual vegan iron levels in iron stores before the study started, which is always interesting, as well as other blood markers, including one that could hint at the mechanism for absorption here. Also, what this has to do with Iron Man, aka Robert Downey Jr., because why not just throw a random celebrity in there? We'll tie it in. It's relevant, I swear. Let's go. So lightning fast refresher, you probably already know that heme iron is the type of iron that is generally found in animal foods, and non-heme iron, plant-based. But I say generally because, of course, that Impossible Burger went and took soy leg hemoglobin and synthesized it so that yeast would create it. And then they have the Impossible Burger, which is a vegan source of heme iron and other Impossible products. The line has been blurred a bit there, but now you understand that. Anyway, to the study, which is actually online ahead of print from just a few days ago. And I will say ahead of print means that it is peer reviewed. This isn't a preprint. We love confusing language in science. They took nearly 30 individuals, about half of which were vegans that they found, people who had been vegan for 6 or more months, the rest just standard meat eaters. They then fed everybody, these two groups, 150 grams of pistachios, which
I've got a video. Another Melon Steve pulled up.
at first glance, I was like, that's 850 calories of pistachios. But no, this is why you read past the abstract. The actual study says, quote, edible portion, 77 grams. So we're talking about shells, which I learned from Googling. Yeah, is about half of the weight when trying to find the cheapest bag of pistachios in the store. The pistachio pirates will get you. Anyway, that's about 400 calories, which is a bit more manageable. And then I have no idea why they chose pistachio.
All right. Well, that's a cool video. I'm not going to watch the whole video because, again, I think we just need to encourage people just to eat the food. But Mike obviously does a great job looking into this research. So I linked to the video. Let's watch this one because we need hope, guys. We need hope. And this one says there is. This one's Mel. I need it.
Are you okay? Are you alright? I'll give you a hug. Well done.
I think I saw this one already.
Well done for watching that and getting through that, because that's really brave. I feel like you've got a really big heart.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I didn't think it was that bad.
You can't even comprehend how bad that is.
I love animals, but then you know, just yeah, I just didn't realise they suffered that bad. You know, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
We're just like.
I wish everybody was just kind like this guy.
So much, aren't we, about what's really going on?
You've absolutely got it. I feel like you've really clicked and you've got it.
I was a vegetarian for 3 years.
Really?
This was a long time ago, and I just broke after 3 years.
Did you ever see that before? Yeah.
To be a vegetarian, I always wanted to be because I love animals. I just think we've got so many other ways of eating. We don't need to eat animals anymore.
Absolutely.
You know, it's great. There's just so many alternatives. But yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah. So I would say when you went vegetarian.
Drag me back now.
When you went vegetarian, you probably didn't have the motivation, because you didn't know what was actually.
Well, we can give you Iron Man as your porn name, Jeremy, then, since you've got iron coursing through your veins. You can take it. I don't know if there's a porn star named Iron Man. Probably there is, but you can try it out. And then we'll see. If you got enough iron, you could probably even power through the lawsuit when the porn star known as Iron Man comes after you.
To truly go in.
Spiritual path. I became like half Hindu. I was watching meditation and stuff, and I
going for more like peace and kindness.
That's kind of that was my motivation. But I
Actually,
yeah.
Someone did say on someone's live stream, it might have been Hinch Herbivore, was talking about pistachios are like good for getting erections. I think it was Hinch. Yeah.
Oh, you seem like such a nice person. Thank you so much for having so much compassion and kindness in your heart. After you have seen that today, what changes do you think you're going to make?
Well, I'm going to stop eating meat again. I'm pretty sure that's, I have to. I don't think I can eat it, and that video is going to stick in my head now.
Yeah, it does with me too.
I sit and eat a pork chop or something after watching that.
Knowing that's what you're paying for. Yeah, absolutely.
It should be illegal. It's even
100%. I agree with you. This should be illegal. And the reason we're showing this is because there's good people out here paying for this, and they don't even know, because you've probably never seen this before.
No.
And I've never seen it as well, and I used to pay for it too.
Real, wasn't it?
It's horrible. I just want to touch on one thing though. Vegetarian, if you're vegetarian, you still kill animals like through the dairy and the egg
Vegan is
industry.
the only way to go. Yeah.
Vegan is the only way to go.
Yeah, I wasn't brave enough last time to be a vegan, but there's so many other alternatives to cheese now and milk, and
It's so easy for us.
so easy now.
And like I said before, you
How
didn't
long
have.
have you been vegan for?
I've been vegan 4 years. 4 years. This time 4 years ago.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I watched 10 seconds of the dairy industry. I saw a mother cow inside a slaughterhouse. Same, you had the same reaction.
Yeah,
I was crying. I broke. Both me and my husband went vegan together on the spot.
Wow.
And we're out here now fighting for the animals.
Well done.
Thank you. And like, they really need us all. They need us.
Yeah, they do.
They need good people like
That should
you.
be put on this. I don't know where that should be. Everyone should be forced to watch that.
Yeah.
I agree.
By me.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Because if people knew what they were paying for, I think it would deter so many people.
If everyone was to watch that, I reckon like 50% of people would stop eating, maybe 30%. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
A massive percentage.
Definitely. And do you know how many animals you save personally by being vegan?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Around 200 to 300 animals a year personally for you.
Just one person.
Yeah. So imagine if like everyone in the street today went vegan.
It's hard to measure that kind of thing. I know PETA and some other groups have attempted to measure like how many animals you save. It could be way higher than that. It could be way lower than that. It really is going to depend on the person. But I don't know if they're just measuring the food and stuff. But yeah, it could be way higher. Also, like doing the activism, it could be even higher. It could be lower. I have no idea. But it's good to give people a sense that yeah, it's going to have an impact.
Vegan, how many animals?
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, and it takes a small amount of people to stand up for something like this.
They're beautiful. Pigs are smart animals. Like,
That's actually pretty good. Not actually as though I'm surprised that you said something clever. I just think that is a good Tony Stalk. As long as you don't get into like the we don't want people thinking stalker. I'm just trying to think through the potential pitfalls of this hard situation. Thank you. Thank you. I love this conversation too, Neil. Yeah, Mel is good. Wish more everyone. More. Yeah, I just read what you wrote. I wish more everyone reacted like him. Yeah, I wish everyone reacted like him.
cows are beautiful, you know. They're made of.
Sorry. Yeah.
You know, they're amazing animals. So
Yeah.
They're not just dumb animals.
Absolutely. Oh, what's your name?
I'm Luke.
Luke, I'm Melissa. It's been really nice to meet you.
No worries.
Have you got a
Love
message
you,
for
Luke.
anybody that watches that and says, I don't care, or it's the way of life? What would your message be to them?
Open up your heart and just see what animals are going through, and stop eating meat.
Yeah, and eggs and dairy. So
Everything.
yeah. Do you know what a vegan is? Because it's a bit different to a vegetarian. A vegetarian is just someone who doesn't eat animals.
Sure.
It's like a diet.
A vegan is no dairy. Anything that's been used, any product that's an animal and as that's be used for.
That's it. I was going to say, because a lot of people think veganism is just about diet, but it's someone who is against the use and exploitation of animals.
No animal fats, no dairy, no.
Yeah, like we don't wear them or pay for anything tested on them, and
I think humanity will go there one day.
Yeah,
it has to.
They just got to see, haven't they?
Got to see that.
Yeah, because we're fighting against like big industries, like the RSPCA approved this, and they say that.
I don't want to think it's inevitable because I don't know if it is inevitable. It seems like it should be. Like, we don't have the resources. We are just using them up. We'll probably just go extinct. But I don't think we should assume that it's just going to happen. We should definitely strive to make it happen faster.
That's okay.
Because there's a lot of people there's a lot of money to be made from this, aren't there?
You got it.
These big farmers, the big cats, there's a lot of money to be made.
You got it. But you know what? We're going to win because they are.
I wish that I had when I had my vegan awakening, that someone made a video about me with that music in the background.
They are in it for money, and we're in it for morals and love. Yeah, and that
love
will
always conquers everything.
Absolutely.
even though it takes a long time, you know, human beings are waking up.
Yeah.
And we're spiritually, we're waking
Let's try it. Let me try. How do you know what you can play? Heroic music, fair use. We'll try it. Okay. I've got a full playlist, and then I'll tell my story. That's what we'll do.
waking up.
We've got
After
to
the
fight
video.
no matter what.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to you as well, like, now that you've seen that and you want to be vegan, just remember, if you want to come and join and help speak up for the animals, you're so welcome. Your
Okay.
voice will be so powerful.
Okay.
And yeah, I think you'll be an inspiration to many.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, you can always join with the free. What I'll do, I'll give you a
me
card.
give us a card, yeah.
Everyone's really lovely here. We all have like the same mindset, which brings you together like really
Okay.
close. You take this card, 3 minutes. freemovies.wtf.
Okay.
If you type in this code 22veg, it will get you into the site. There's documentaries on there for you to watch if you want to watch them. Challenge 22 to help you with any questions you have. But you can always email We the Free, and you can always come out here as well and speak up for the animals.
Well done for what you're doing, man.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you so much for having a hug. Can I give you another hug?
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye. Oh, and that's exactly how everybody should react after seeing that. Because
Yeah.
that's someone of strength and kindness.
Yeah.
And it just fills me with so much hope that there's so many other people like that out here who just don't know what they're paying for. And we'll conquer.
And you just changed their life now and the lives of animals in that tiny amount of time. No, hang on a second. Okay, share this tab. We gotta find the good music for me to tell my tale. This is like maybe not it. Okay, this is kind of like, hang on. Okay, I got it. I know what to do with this one. Okay. I was there at the bar. Beautiful woman at the bar. I thought I could spit some game at her. Walked up to her. Hour later, she's told me about the film Earthlings. Challenged me. She said, Jeremy, you go home, you watch it. I said, I'll do it. Got home. And we'll just pretend it's a VCR because it's more dramatic. Put the tape in. Hit play. Wait, this doesn't work because now I would have to describe what the it's not going to be humorous. Okay, let's try another track. That's it. That's the one. That this captures my moment. Definitely. I walked into the bar that night. Didn't know who I would meet. Beautiful woman there in the bar. I thought, I'll take a shot. Summoned up the courage. Oh, it was tough, you know. She was a 10. Who was I? 2 walking up to a 10. I thought, anybody can take a shot. So, gathered up all the courage. I walked over there, sat down. In my head, I probably sounded like, hey, how you doing? In reality, it probably sounded more like, excuse me, is this seat taken? I thought maybe I might sit down and talk to you. Struck up a conversation. Talked for an hour. Somehow, I came up. Jeremy, I'm a yeah, you know, I've been inching my way towards veganism. She said, Jeremy, all those animals you eat, they were suffering, they were in pain, anxious, scared, and then you take that inside you. You know, I never really thought of it that way. I never really thought of it that way. A little while later, there's a film called Earthlings. You should watch it. But to do that, you'd have to be brave, a hero, superhuman. He said, I will do that. Yes, I will watch Earthlings. I will watch Earthlings. I'm brave. Into the night came. Wait, sorry. Into the night came. He said, Jeremy, it's like the end of the year. What are you going to do with the rest of your? What are you going to do with your whatever year that was? Like 2018. What are you going to do with 2018? He said, you know, I'm going to make some changes. And that night, I did. How was that? Was that good? You did show up just in time for that one, Mary. How was that? Was that good? Let's see what the next epic emotional music. Okay. What do I do with this one? I mean, this one's going to be serious. I would have to talk about what I saw in Earthlings. That's not going to be humorous at all. Okay. We got to do my first activism. No. This reminds me of the one I used for Chris's movie, our little short that we did. I can recreate that moment. That was like, if you really set your mind to something, you can do it. Here, we'll watch that. Show y'all what I mean. I was quite proud of, because I just used the footage from his trailer, so it worked out really well. All right. Shorts. Always a good time to self-promote and promote Chris. We're doing that too. That's what it sounds like, isn't it? This one.
was persistence over 16 years, and I never would have thought it would have done this. I just wanted to make this movie.
I love this.
That was my dream, to
music
make a
for
feature
this.
movie, and I did it. I accomplished one of my biggest dreams in my lifetime. So if you really are passionate about something, stick with it. And it might not come overnight or in a year or two, but if you stick with it, you know, eventually you'll find a way.
I just want to say thank you so much for I probably wasn't your heart into this film. It's so exciting. I'm just really blown away by your passion. I try to establish there's a conversation. People feel that too. I'm sure that they do, and I hope people will support this film.
Don't eat animals, fools.
That was good, right? I was proud of that. I did good on that. It's okay to praise myself. Okay, YouTube can. Am I not a 2? Sometimes. All right, let's go back. I looked at that woman. She was sitting at the bar, clearly a 10, clearly. I mean, I'm a little far away, so it's like I need to get up closer to be able to tell if I'm looking at a 10 or a 9, but it's obviously in the upper realm. But what am I? But a 2. I'm but a 2. But somewhere in my mind, I got this sense in the future. angel came down to me. Named Cain Defends Animals. And they said to me, Jeremy, you're not a 2. They didn't specify what I am. It might have meant I'm actually a 1 or a 3, which wouldn't have given me much more confidence. But let's go with, Jeremy, you're a 7. And a 7, well, he may not always succeed at talking to a 9 or a 10 and sealing the deal. He can walk up to her. He can. I thought, yes, I can do this. I can do it. I can try. So I summoned all the courage I had. What little I had. I stared into that bottle. I said, you're going to have to help me out with the rest, because I don't have enough. The rest got me there, guys. It got me there. I strolled up there, and the rest is history. And now look at me, animal rights activist, but 7 years later. The real hero of the story, that woman. We know that. We know that. All right, that's all I got. We're only halfway through the song. That's my vegan story. That's my vegan coming of age story. I think Jedi's here. First Jedi. By the way, this is all supposed to be fair use music. No copyright. Should be fine. I don't know why anybody's still here. Thank you, though. Thank you. We were going to do activism, right? Yeah. This reminds me, Kane, your video when you talked to grumpy vegan granddad, and he was like, so you want to be an animal rights activist, right? And you looked up like, yeah. And then you closed the, oh, that was great. Oh, that was so good. All right. My first activism. Okay, hang on. That day I was burning with rage, burning with fire, burning with desire for a better world for animals. So I did what anybody in my position would do. I opened that laptop, typed in Animal Save Movement. Near me. What did I find? A vigil. Let's say they were meeting the next morning. It was the next morning. I knew I would have to be on my A game. So I tucked into bed. I got my vegan cookies. Got my soy milk. Get the cookie, soy milk, cookies. Put on my. It's like Christmas. You know, little bed hat in the story. In the story, not in real life. In the story, I had the bed hat, and I got tuckered in bed for a good night's sleep, so that I could be on my A game the next day. Got up early. Didn't have to drive an hour. I didn't know these people. They could have hated me. Because remember, I was but a 2. And sometimes that even matters. But I heard that voice in my head again, Jeremy, you're not a 2. We don't know what you are, but it's not a 2. Could be a 1, could be a 3. But we'll go with 7. So I got up with 7 confidence. The confidence of a 7. Got in my car, started driving, put in the GPS. Nowadays, you don't have to look at a map. Put in the GPS. Makes things a lot easier. I drove that hour. First, I wanted to drive by the slaughterhouse. Drove by. Oh, I gotta wrap this up fast. Okay. I saw people all the time. Fellow activists. I popped a Yui, a dramatic Yui, swerved into that parking spot and joined them. And I said, hey, I'm here to join your protest, your vigil. I'm new here. They said, Jeremy, welcome. Here we hug. Gave me a hug. And the rest is history. That's my story. Oh, was the music too loud? Damn it. And viewership went down. Definitely. He did not, Jedi. That's not the point of the story. He was married. All right. In my defense, I didn't notice the. Okay, we'll do it again. Okay, the music's too loud, according to Kane. Okay. Let's do womp womp sound effect. Okay. Do we need a mix for that? We don't need a mix. Okay. As I said, back to the story. I had that confidence of a 7, a doubtful 7, a potential 7. I thought maybe a 7. I started over there. It was a proud moment. I felt very good about myself. Again, as I sat down, in my head, I sounded like, oh, hey, is this seat taken? In reality, excuse me. I thought maybe if you weren't talking to anybody, maybe I could sit down too, and then maybe we could have a conversation. I sat down. Not doing the one thing you're supposed to do. My big mistake. My big mistake. I didn't look at the hands. Didn't check out the hands. Had I done that, I would have noticed the ring on the finger.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises, and turn website layouts into an art form.
Ruin the moment. And that's my vegan story, y'all. That's my vegan story. And we have now dwindled in viewers all the way down to 4. We went from 11 when I started this down to 4. But I know who my crew is. Kane, Mary, and Jedi. That's who I roll with. It's about quality, not quantity. Quality over quantity, right, guys? My crew knows what good content is. That was good content. I think it was good content. We'll see. Oh, Felix is here too. That's Felix also in my crew. What did you think of my one-man show, Felix? No, there was a ring. There was a ring. Indeed, there was. Indeed, there was. And to borrow a line from the film Earthlings, said by Joaquin Phoenix, and therein we err, and greatly err. I think that's what he said. Yeah, he was talking about something more important, but therein I erred and greatly erred. But I did the right thing, right? Jeremy's here too. Wait. The numbers aren't accurate. I'm getting a 4. I'm seeing 4, but there's Jeremy, Mary, Felix, Kane, and Jedi. That's 5. That's 5 right there. And if they count me, I don't know if because I have to watch my own stream to get y'all's comments when the glitch happens. That should be 6. So I think the numbers aren't accurate. Here's what I think about the numbers. But anyway, that's my story. That's my now it says 1. Now that can't be accurate unless they just took me down because that was copyrighted. Did that happen? Put a 1 in the chat if you're still here. So you're not here, Mary. It says 1 watching now. It says 1. These numbers are messing with me. That's more than 1. That's more than 1. Why does it say 1 watching now? Wait, that's actually concerning. That's actually concerning. To see a 1, that means I need to check if I've gotten a message about copyright. Let me look. I don't see one. I don't see one. Hang on. No, no message. No message. The numbers are off. I feel like YouTube's messing with me. I don't get it. All right, anyway. Well, did y'all enjoy that? I think I'll wrap up the stream there. Especially since YouTube just wants me insecure about the number of viewers on my channel. Very insecure with myself right now. I feel very inadequate. I feel but a 2 out of 10. Yeah. And YouTube did that. That's how yeah. All right, I'm going. I'm taking my 2-ness and leaving. Thank you all for joining. Mary, Jedi, Kane, Neil, Felix, anybody who's still out there that I neglected to mention. Everybody, please sub to Kane Defends Animals. Sub to Jeffrey Phillips. Who else's channel people could sub to? I'm not sure. But definitely sub to those 2 people for sure. And everybody that we streamed. All right. Have a good night, y'all. Good night.